Hey everybody, welcome back to Greg's Grooves after a very long hiatus while I was moving apartments, but we're back and timing could not be better because last Friday, live at the Oval, 1971, The Who came out and their tour started, and I'll be going to the show at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night, this Saturday coming up. When you see this, it is August 2025. The song is Over Tour. Okay, let's get down to the focus of this video, which is live at the Oval. I'm going to talk a little bit about the album itself, the pressing, what I thought about it. So this is going to be a pretty thorough review, but I'll try to keep out too much fluff, get straight to the point. So we've, in the last couple of years, been blessed with live releases from that 1971 era. Obviously, for years now, we've had ton from the Tommy Tour 1969-1970 era, live at Leeds, live at the Isle of Wight, even though it's not official, Tanglewood, Woodstock, you name it. But there hasn't been too much from that Who's Next era of live performances. The first thing we kind of got that I listened to a ton when I was younger was the deluxe edition of Who's Next, the 2 CD set that had the Young Vic recordings. I love those Young Vic recordings. I think they show so much about the process of creating Who's Next when it was still Lifehouse. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Was hyped when they released that. And then recently we got the live in San Francisco, 1971, in the newer deluxe edition of Who's Next, and I bought the 4 LP set, and I was thrilled with that. That San Francisco performance is stellar. So I had really high hopes and high expectations for live at the Oval. And I will start, I'm not going to bury the lead, I was very disappointed. Disappointed in the pressing, disappointed in the performance, disappointed in a lot of things. So first, let's start with the pressing itself. I know this is going to seem like a little bit nitpicky, but the records don't fit well in the sleeves. It's genuinely a struggle to take them. I'm not even like playing this up for the camera. I cannot get the records in and out of the sleeves. And yeah, I feel like I'm ruining it every time I try to open it. And then the gatefold doesn't close all the way because there's too much tension on the spine. I'm convinced the spine is going to rip in short order. Now, yes, maybe this is going to stretch out as it sits in my record collection and whatnot, but I just really feel like this is manufactured poorly, really poorly. The insert, the booklet, I was expecting a lot more. I mean, you know, the printing quality is nice, but it just feels flimsy. It's stapled together. I mean, there's definitely some good photos and, you know, scans of materials from the performance. But yeah, I wasn't thrilled about that either. I thought that was going to be a little bit higher quality. And then the pressing itself, it's mastered at Abbey Road. You know, where it's mastered obviously matters, but where it's pressed is more important. I can't find the pressing information. My copy's noisy right out of the box, particularly in the right channel. And before I get attacked online, I clean the records. My turntable's set up perfectly. Nothing gives me problems. And I thought this was a really high noise floor pressing, and it's not the tape hiss. I can differentiate between the analog tape hiss from the 8-track tape that this was transferred from. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the noise of the vinyl itself. This does not seem to be high quality vinyl to my ear. So noisy, particularly the right channel. I didn't like the packaging. I think the design is cool. You know, kudos. It really has that Woodstock and post-Woodstock vibe with the art. You know, you have each member of the band in the four corners. I think that's well done, but yeah, not thrilled with the pressing itself. Now let's move on to the performance. I've talked about on this channel, and if you're a Who fan, you know, the Who are the greatest live band of all time, but are extremely uneven in their performances. Some are almost, I don't even know the word, that they go beyond what you think is possible for a three-piece band and a singer. They are transformative, and other performances are just sloppy. There's eras of the band where the band is very deep into alcohol and drugs, and you can hear it in the performances. Obviously, you have notorious events like Keith Moon passing out at the Cow Palace, 1973. We know about all of that. So I'm not expecting every live Who release to be a stellar performance. And this is not like a bad performance, and it's not a particularly sloppy performance. I just feel like it's a going through the motions performance. Nothing particularly stands out. There's a decent version of Won't Get Fooled Again. There's an okay version of Summertime Blues, but nothing that surpasses anything that's already been released. So yeah, I really don't see this as being a absolute must-have in releasing the Who's live catalog. And on top of that, it suffers from major flaws, which I want to talk about right now, because this was a problem, and this is the reason I'm probably not going to come back and listen to this much. Now, I listened to the vinyl all the way through twice through headphones, and I've been listening to the album on streaming during my workouts to really just confirm whether this is an issue that's just to my ear or a real issue. And the liner notes actually confirmed it for me. Drummers. There is no right bass drum mic up until Won't Get Fooled Again. And Glyn Johns mentions in the liner notes, it's mentioned that Glyn Johns said that there were miking issues because this was an event, a charity event, that really they didn't have access to the stage in the way they wanted. And man, it feels so off kilter to not have Keith Moon's right bass drum microphone, his main bass drum. So basically you're missing all the downbeats throughout all of side one and the majority of side two. Somebody clearly runs on stage during the synth intro of Won't Get Fooled Again and fixes the bass drum microphone. Kudos to that roadie from back in 1971. You saved the second half of this album and performance, because it's almost unlistenable. And it's a shame, because you have Summertime Blues, My Wife, Love Ain't for Keepin', I Can't Explain, Substitute, Bargain, and Behind Blue Eyes all have little to no main bass drum. And if you know anything about the way Keith Moon plays drums, he uses the right for downbeats and does a lot of lead-ins with the left foot, like da-dum, da-dum. And when you're only getting the first part of that, you're getting all these upbeats, these ands and uhs and things that just make everything feel weird. And I have a feeling John Entwistle was having trouble with that too, and not getting that in his monitor. I know they weren't using in-ears or anything fancy at that time, but he's definitely not getting downbeats, because a lot of times in the performance, you feel that there's a lack of assurance of where the downbeat is. Now, Keith Moon's not a John Bonham type. He didn't have like a super heavy right foot, but rock music without a solid downbeat, without a solid 1 and 3, just feels weird. And I can see why they kept this one in the vaults for as long as they did. To anyone who's a musician, you're going to hear that weirdness. And if you're a guitarist, bassist, singer, and maybe not sure why you're listening to this and you're like, something doesn't sound right, it is that bass drum microphone. The second LP, much more listenable, because you have mostly full right bass drum microphone, though it does feel like it gets away again at the end towards Naked Eye and Magic Bus. But yeah, it makes it an impossible listen for me. I don't know if I'll be going back to any of those side 1 or side 2 cuts after making this video because I just can't listen to it. I can't listen to The Who without bass drum. It just doesn't work. There is also miking issues with the guitar. You're getting a lot of weird, unintentional fuzz. Now, a lot of times on Who live recordings, you have Pete's guitar in one channel and then reverb in the other channel, which is intentional. And you have that here, but there's some very strange feedback. And again, in the liner notes, they mention interference and things like that. The performances themselves, like I said, they feel a little like going through the motions. Naked Eye on side 4 is like one of the sloppiest endings of any version of Naked Eye I ever heard, where the band's just totally out of sync, which is a shame because the first half of it is good. My Generation has no extended outro. It's a short version, which is odd, seeing as they basically extended that into 10 to 15 minute opuses for years there. Yeah, I'm not going to be coming back to this one. Live in San Francisco is way better, far better. And for the last part of this video, I want to talk about why this release frustrates me so much. Release the Quadrophenia era performances. Philadelphia Spectrum 73, Civic Center Maryland 73. These performances were professionally recorded for King Biscuit Flower Hour, and they're amazing. You can go on YouTube and listen to Philadelphia Spectrum 73. I recorded it to a cassette just for posterity off of YouTube, and man, I would kill for an official release of that. Give me more stuff from the 73-74 tour. 74 Charlton. Give me an official release of 74 Charlton. Give me more stuff from the Who by Numbers tour. Swansea. Give me official releases of those things. You have definitive performances from 71. You have San Francisco. You have all the Young Vic stuff leading up to the creation of Who's Next. Move on to the stuff we really want. The Quadrophenia tour, because there's no official stuff, very little official stuff. It's out there. Give it to us. Don't give me this with major flaws in the recording, poorly pressed. This is just, what a massive disappointment. I love The Who. If you watch this channel, you know that. I'm looking forward to their performance on Saturday night, but man, Live at the Oval 71 is just going down as a disappointment for me. If you got yours, if you've listened to it, please leave a comment. Maybe you disagree with me about how you feel about this, but for me, this is a fail from the Who Vaults. Glad to be back with you guys. Hope to see you next time on Greg's Grooves.